It's cold in New York. This year was a strange year for games. I could just be saying that because this year I broke out of my Xbox 360 shooter rut. I want to make a video about the best and worst games of 2013 that I've played. I don't care what you've played. Just josh and leave it in the comments. I love you, please love me. There's a lot to say, so this is going to be another two-parter. I'm sorry. Let's start with the bad stuff. Now, to clarify, I don't really play bad games, and I'm sure there's a lot of you out there in the same boat. There's a lot of resources available online to determine whether or not a game's going to be good, and I'll be damned if I spend my $60 on a flop. That said, there are some disappointments that slip by, but they are hardly ever atrocities, like Duke Nukem caliber atrocities. Let's start with LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Now, I'll admit, I didn't give that game that much of a chance. The multiplayer was horrible, and that was super disappointing because of all the hype that was around it. From beautiful looking trailers and gameplay footage and just friends who were raving about it. The game would prompt you to hit a button, but it was very picky about where you were standing when you hit the button, whether or not you were tapping the button, whether you were holding down the button. Watch our playthrough of that and see if my thoughts are justified. Batman Arkham Origins wasn't too disappointing because I picked it up a little bit after it came out, and I already heard about everybody's issues with it. It's still a good game. It's actually what I'm playing right now. But it's not nearly as good as Arkham City. The fighting isn't as smooth, combos break easily, and counterattacks sometimes don't work if you're in the middle of some moves. Everybody's raving about the story, but it hasn't compelled me yet. Not as much as the last one anyway. Tomb Raider was a great game. I enjoyed it. It had a lot of issues. For example, you have a f***ing climbing hook. Piton they call it? And you have to unlock melee kills, so you can't use it to murder people until about 2 hours into the game. So for the first 2 hours of the game, if somebody gets too close to you, you have to run away from them and shoot them from a distance. And I get it. The developers are just trying to show that Lara Croft is just starting murdering people, and shooting them is a little easier than castrating them with a python. Python. So remember, it takes about 2 hours to get comfortable doing that. Plan accordingly. I also wasn't comfortable with her whining for the first 2 hours of the game. She was like a big baby. I really didn't like the default tank top outfit in the game when you're in the middle of the snowy mountains, but I found out you could change the outfit later on to a jacket, and that made it all better for my dear Laura. But the game gets good. Still not Game of the Year material. And the story never gets good. Crysis 3 was okay. The second one was great, loved it. 3 just felt like an extension. And when you're playing it on hard, all they do is add more enemies. And when you stealth around as much as I do, it just makes the game drag on a little bit. Did I clear this room yet? Nope. Still 10 more guys I gotta sneak around and stab in the neck. Oh, and the story was abysmal. Zone of Enders HD Collection, which came out in 2012, but I didn't play it till 2013, and this is my list, not yours. You leave a comment! I bought this because Kojima made it, and Shinkawa did the artwork. And the collector's edition came with an art book that is incredible. I've been waiting to play these games for a really long time, and the first game is kind of trash. So I quickly dropped that and went straight to the second one. The second game's great, but it's really hard and a tad dated, so I'll revisit this game someday. Modern Combat 4 for Android, which again came out in 2012, December of 2012, and I didn't play it till 2013 when I got my Moga controller. Pew pew. Spent a lot of this year playing games on my phone with this thing, and boy, let me tell you, this thing's a hoot. You know it's not a hoot? Modern Combat 4. It was cool having a shooter on my phone with decent graphics and controls, but Gameloft makes so much money off their AAA clones, why not throw a little bit of that money into some decent writing, directing, and voice acting?
Weapons free! Open fire! Ah! Tango killed! Hostile eliminated! Damn! That's another kill!
You know what? You don't even need voice acting in a game like this. I just want to shoot people. This game probably has the worst direction out of any modern game. It's like The Room bad. The multiplayer was a fun romp, though. Next week, I'll be telling you all about the best games I've played this year. If you want to stay tuned for that, subscribe. If you like my videos, subscribe. If you want to help us out, subscribe. If you don't like our videos, then what the hell are you doing here? Get the hell out of here. Thank you very much. Have a good week. I understand Joel McHale's humor. He was trying to troll everybody, but it was rarely funny, and he seemed more like a jock trying to bully a bunch of nerds. God damn it. Don't stop the presses yet.